All right, what's going on, everybody? It's May 31st, Friday. I'm Will, and we got George, and we got a guest tonight, Six Luis, because Mike is at a wedding.
Pleasure to be back.
And hi, everybody. MobileGeezer here. You know me as always here every week. Find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and of course my website is always mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. And happy you're with us, and was very happy that Sixto was with us.
Back. You guys hearing it okay?
Yep.
Yep. So far, so good. All right, host.
Six, what's going on?
All good, man.
How's your week going? It's all right?
Today with my nephew to see the Godzilla movie. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I seen you posted that.
That's good. Yeah, I was working a lot today, so I didn't see a lot of posts.
Yeah. I seen a Six post. It looked like you was in an empty theater.
What?
Wait, I seen you post a picture. It looked like you was in an empty theater.
Wait, man, I can't hear you. Say it again.
I said it looked like the theater was empty.
Something well, I can't. It's really weird happening right now.
Uh-oh, technical issues.
George, can you hear me?
I hear you just fine.
All right.
Maybe only Jersey guys can hear. I don't know.
I can hear you, Six.
I hear you. You hear us?
Yeah, okay. But I hear like someone calling in the other line, but I don't think anybody's trying to get on, right?
Nah, nobody else. So. Nah.
Nothing showing here.
I don't know if somebody got the stream on.
It's all in your head, Six.
George,
oh my God, something's really weird going on. But anyway, keep going. I'll try to figure this.
You have the stream on in another window, if that's what's playing, like audio from somewhere else.
I guess that could be the problem. Not. Yeah, but now I can hear you guys well.
Okay. All right. But yeah, so I said it looked like when you posted that picture, it looked like you was in an empty theater.
Yeah, because all the people were in the back because we went to the first outing. So all the good seats, since they're in the back, none of the people were sitting in the front. So I had the perfect view.
Why don't you just tell us you had a private showing? They opened the theater just for you two. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So this week we got a couple stories this week. George is actually the one finding all these. George, you want to take this first one, or you want me to do it? The Sprint and T-Mobile.
I'll get it. Okay, this is kind of a long one, so I'm probably not going to read all of it. But okay, that's not me. Okay.
No, that was me.
Okay. First story: T-Mobile and Sprint. This is on TheVerge.com from 2 days ago. Justice Department reportedly wants T-Mobile and Sprint to create a new fourth U.S. carrier to gain merger approval. Started a story. One of the pressing concerns about the proposed merger between T-Mobile and Sprint is that it would shrink the market of major U.S. wireless carriers from 4 to 3. But according to a report from Bloomberg, the Department of Justice might be pushing for a way to prevent that. Apparently, the DOJ wants to see T-Mobile and Sprint lay the groundwork for an entirely new carrier to emerge as a condition of any potential approval of their merger. By the sounds of it, this would be a spun-off mobile provider with its own network cobbled together from the assets and spectrum that currently belong to T-Mobile and Sprint. Bloomberg doesn't mention how receptive the two carriers are to this idea, nor does it detail how everything would play out. The other question is, what company would pick up the mantle to operate this carrier? Dish Network possesses an abundance of valuable spectrum that it's currently not putting to use. So that's one possibility. But even conceptually, this solution would seem to go against one of the core arguments that T-Mobile and Sprint have made for their coming together. They say joining forces will create a much larger, more formidable rival to Verizon Wireless and AT&T and drive down prices for consumers. Having to give away enough spectrum and network resources to create a new national carrier would surely result in a weaker new T-Mobile than the two companies had originally hoped for. T-Mobile and Sprint have claimed their merger would lead to an ambitious and comprehensive deployment of 5G technology across the U.S. over the next several years. Earlier this month, both parties agreed to what they insist are enforceable deadlines on 5G expansion, which was enough for FCC Chairman Ajit Pai to say he'd vote in favor of the deal. Sprint also said it would find a new owner for Boost Mobile if the deal is approved. But critics say T-Mobile and Sprint's promises of blanketing 97% of the U.S. with 5G within 3 years and covering 99% of Americans within 6 years are meaningless and hard to accurately measure. Those conditions that T-Mobile and Sprint reached to gain the FCC's blessing apparently have not been enough to sway the Justice Department's antitrust chief, Makin Delrahim, according to Bloomberg's report. He's still said to be concerned over shrinking the field of competitors, which has led to this idea of just making another carrier, so the U.S. will still be left with 4 if the deal gets a thumbs up. Bloomberg notes that discussions between the carriers and the DOJ have been productive, with both T-Mobile CEO Jean Leger and Sprint Chairman Marcelo Claure seen outside the Justice Department on Wednesday. So I kind of agree with some of the points here. I mean, if they give up, T-Mobile gives up spectrum, Sprint gives up spectrum, and then they're both giving up resources, well, how strong are they going to be as a merged company when a lot of their resources are going for some other new carrier?
Yeah.
Oh, and by the by, not in the story, is as far as Boost Mobile, well, it sounds like Amazon may be very interested in picking that up. So where do you think it's going? Either one of you guys pick it up.
This is just
At this rate,
go ahead, Six.
at this rate, I was gonna say at this rate, Amazon should just keep buying everything. They're gonna control what I'm reading, because I read
Amazon
that
or Walmart are going to control the world, and everybody else will be gone.
Exactly. That's what they're controlling already online shopping. So why not keep controlling the rest of our lives?
Yeah. I mean, George, like they have to make like these concessions, right? Otherwise the merger is gonna die, right?
Yeah, if they don't make the concessions, they'll never get the merger to go through. I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, what's it been, 2 years? Almost 2 years?
No, it's been a year and a few months, I believe. I think it's been like 14, 15 months.
Yeah, like they're really, but the other thing is, I mean, so once they do this, let's say Amazon buys the thing, and then we get
Buys Boost, right?
another, like I guess another carrier. That's their
Another
goal,
fourth carrier
to keep 4 carriers. This is gonna kind of, like they said in the article, I believe, limit what this merger is gonna mean. You know what I mean?
Right, because T-Mobile and Sprint will be weaker for all the stuff they gave up. Yeah. Now they could give up. Let's say they gave up 30% of their spectrum and resources each. Okay, so now you've got a fourth carrier big enough, just barely, to be some kind of competitor with the other 3, counting T-Mobile and Sprint as one. But so you leave T-Mobile and Sprint with 70% of what they have now. Well, how much competition would there be for AT&T and Verizon? Probably not much more competition than they are right now, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, it's gonna essentially be the same. Like, AT&T and Verizon are still gonna be,
except they'd have one more competitor, which they started.
It's, I don't know, this is crazy. I didn't think it was gonna be this much of a hassle when it started. I thought it would have been kind of kind of easy, for them to get
Yeah,
it.
when it started, it looked like this was going to be the first time that this merger was ever going to go through. But now, yeah, it seems like the politicians are saying, if you want this approved, you're going to jump through whatever hoops we throw in your way.
Yeah, they were. I remember they were on was it John Legier and the guy from Sprint were on CNN and everything like in the beginning. It was
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
think
they were
they
all
thought it
over
was
the
going to
place.
push right through too. They probably
I
thought
think
it was
so.
going to be easy.
Yep. And then it was not so fast, guys.
But there's always
Yeah.
problems when politics are involved.
Exactly. And politicians are going to want to get paid off one way or another. That's just how it works.
Yeah, they want to make money off the
Right.
the
And
whole
it doesn't matter what side the politicians are on. They're kind of all the same when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
they always know the ins and outs of the economy and the laws, so they know how to work it for them,
Well,
not
they're
against.
all lawyers. Of course they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they want to make sure they get their cut.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, meanwhile, it ain't like you were saying earlier. It's not gonna. I don't know. I don't think this is gonna lead to us getting 5G any quicker. So they can take their time. But I don't know. I know. I told my sister she's on Sprint, and I told her, I said, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be, you're gonna be taken over by T-Mobile soon." I was like, "Just stay with them. It'll get better." But
Yeah,
as
that's what I
slow as
would
this
do if
is,
I was still on Sprint. Yeah.
as slow as this is going, I don't know when it's gonna get better.
Yeah.
Because I think Sprint is pretty desperate right about now. They're like
You
giving
would think.
away phones. They're giving away phones and all kind of stuff. I know Mike was telling me the other day there was like some kind of $20 plan or something, and he would give you an iPhone XR. Like they're doing anything to get
Yeah, that's what
to
I
get
call a
subs.
deal, brother.
Yeah, they're
No, but
trying to get subs.
it's just sad because at least here in Puerto Rico, and every Sprint store that I pass through by, it's all empty. I don't know
Really.
I don't know how they still do it. I mean, it's weird.
Yeah.
At least here, I'm in a small island, so like compared to the U.S. So.
Yeah. But, hey, they do it by sending money out of Kansas to Puerto Rico and every place else that needs it, I guess. You know.
Yeah, I know a few people who are on Sprint. I mean, Sprint, I didn't even know Sprint until a couple weeks ago. Sprint doesn't even have support for like the Galaxy Watch. There's no support. Like if
Oh,
you
really?
buy
I
the
didn't know
watch,
that.
you can't get like a cellular model. I think they do the Apple Watch, but they don't have nothing for the Samsung. He just kept saying they have to update their network or something. I don't know. That's pretty sad. I mean, if I was Samsung, I wouldn't be too happy because if the person's on Sprint.
And I was with Sprint for 16 straight years before I became T-Mobile once I started my YouTube. But when Sprint says they have to update their network, they never seem to get around to it.
They don't do it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're always in the process of updating it, I guess. Meanwhile, you're sitting there with a $300 watch that.
And plus, the way things are right now, my guess is if Sprint says, well, we need to do so-and-so, John Legier is probably saying, you'll do that when we tell you to do that.
Wow, Rishi said Sprint had an attractive woman out in the sun today to sign people up 5 lines for $100, but it's only for 1 year.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
That is a good deal. 5 lines for $100.
Okay. And so Rishi's in here. Serrano's in here. Hey, Serrano.
Yeah, Serrano just came in.
Okay.
Yeah. I know Serrano just hit, I think I saw 1 million views.
Good for you, Serrano.
He posted on his, I think I just seen it. Yeah, but let's see. Let's
All
get
right,
to
so we've exhausted T-Mobile. Go ahead.
I'll take this one. Apple Pay, Google Pay will work with MTA's tap and pay system for New York City Transit. It seems like this should have been this should have been a thing already, but New York City is often called the greatest city in the world, but it's a step behind when it comes to adopting new technologies. Take contactless pay for public transit as an example. Consumers in quite a few cities around the world, such as London and Japan, have had the ability to tap and pay with a smartphone or contactless card to access public transit for years. Well, tap and pay for transit is finally coming to New York City, though it's a bit limited at the moment. Starting May 31st, New York City's Metropolitan Transportation Authority is launching OMNY, a new fare payment system It allows commuters to use NFC and contactless credit, debit, or reloadable prepaid cards or a smartphone or wearable to board public transit. Unfortunately, the launch is relegated only to Staten Island buses and the 4, 5, and 6 subway lines between the Grand Central and 42nd Street and Atlantic Ave and Barclays Center station stops. That's a pretty limited rollout, especially when you consider the size of New York's metro system. The MTA expects to expand OMNY to other lines throughout 2019, and the rollout is expected to be available throughout the entire subway system and bus routes by 2020. Until then, you'll still be able to use your existing MetroCard system to pay for transit, which will be available until 2023. If you're worried about not being able to use cash in the future, the MTA confirmed that cash will always be an option to pay for transit. The OMNY system doesn't support cash at the moment, so there may be a physical OMNY card in 2021 to help with this. An Android and iOS app is on the way. You may have already seen the new turnstiles on the 4, 5, and 6 subway lines supporting the OMNY system. They have a small area with an NFC symbol, and that's where you just tap your contactless card, phone, or wearable to pay for a ride. At launch, you'll be able to pay per ride, but the MTA said additional fare options such as time-based passes will be available down the road. The OMNY system works with the most digital wallets, including Apple Pay, Google Pay, Samsung Pay, and Fitbit Pay. As for physical cards, American Express, Visa, and MasterCard all support OMNY. So if you have a contactless card from them, you'll be able to just tap and go. You can request a contactless payment card from your bank if you don't want to use a digital wallet. Wow, this is long.
This is long.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling.
You want me to take some or?
Go ahead, George.
All right, continuing. Is the new OMNY system change for the sake of change? There are problems with the existing MetroCard system that OMNY directly addresses. Prakash Haramami, director of Google Pay at Google, said using a digital wallet for contactless payments will directly add more convenience for riders.
The typical Google engineers.
I have too many Google phones on at the moment. Okay.
What is that, George?
Will directly add more convenience for riders, and the system will also be more secure. You don't have to stand in line to buy a ticket. Haramami said, if you just add it to your phone, just tap and go. Lines can form up quickly at MetroCard ticket booths. I can remember that when I used to work in New York, which can cause people delays in getting on their train. Contactless options will help people avoid this problem completely. Using your phone or a contactless card to pay for transit is also more secure than paying with a plastic card, according to Haramani. Okay. He said digitizing your credit card or debit card on your phone creates a virtual account number, and a unique one-time code is generated per transaction to ensure security. That's one of the great things about using phones to pay. EMV chips on credit and debit cards are more or less equivalent in terms of security with digital wallets. So what took so long? If there are clear benefits, why did it take so long for contactless payments for transit to come to the U.S.? Haramani said contactless payments is a two-sided challenge, as it requires people to use it as merchant supported. Adoption in the U.S. has everything to do with muscle memory. Around the world, banks began issuing contactless cards early on as the U.S. largely stuck with cash. The rest of the world was able to get used to the muscle memory of tapping to make payments for transit, which helped increase adoption of contactless payments elsewhere. We have found transit to be the catalyst use case to drive more adoption across retailers. We will look at our experience in London. We've been live with the TfL, Transport for London, which is a major transit agency in the UK for quite a few years now. And there we found that people who started using Google Pay for transit carried that behavior forward for tapping at retailers. Pardon me. Google found that tapping twice a day for transit helped build muscle memory, which entice people to use the same motion to make payments at other venues. As we see more proliferation of mobile wallets on payments for transit, we think it's going to have this multiplier effect where people will get into the habit and start using it more for retail transactions too. It helps that most retailers upgraded their respective payment systems to support NFC, which Harry Romani said the trend to use contactless payments in the US is in an upward swing now that almost every major retailer supports it. Apple Pay. You can use Apple Pay with public transit in several cities around the world. The first US city to support it was Portland, Oregon on May 21st, 2019. So we're talking a week ago, just barely. Apple Pay Express Transit Mode is a special mode that lets you tap your iPhone or Apple Watch on the contactless terminal with no need to unlock or wake the device. This means no need to use Face ID or Touch ID. You can use Apple Pay without this mode to access transit, and this is available in a broader range of cities, including Chicago in the US. You'll need to be on the latest software, iOS 12.3 plus and watchOS 5.2.1 plus to use Apple Pay Express. To use Apple Pay Express Transit on both iPhone and Apple Watch. It works with iPhone SE, iPhone 6S, 6S Plus, and newer iPhone models, as well as the Apple Watch Series 1 and newer models. So I think you're good to go there. Google Pay. Google's own Google Pay, available on all Android phones with NFC. Shut up, Google. Also supports OMNY. Like Apple Pay, you won't need to open up the app. Just tap your phone in the terminal and you're good to go. Google Pay currently works in more than 30 cities around the world as a transit option, including Chicago, Portland, and Las Vegas monorail. Google also added a feature that lets commuters ask Google Assistant when the next train is arriving by saying, when is the next train for arriving, as an example. You'll then be able to see real-time results instead of having an MTA display. Google Maps will also display a note that you can use Google Pay to pay for the subway as long as you're on the supported transit line, in other words, right now, the 4, 5, and 6, to help increase awareness of the new feature. Then there's Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay is Samsung's alternative to Google Pay, and it goes a step beyond as it works with magnetic secure transmission technology, MST, which is what credit and debit card use, and that's why Samsung you can use a lot more places. It also supports NFC, so you can use your Samsung Galaxy S6 or newer to access OMNY. This means you'll also be able to use any Samsung smartwatch that supports Samsung Pay as well, like the Galaxy Watch and the Galaxy Watch Active. If you have a Samsung smartphone, you can also download and use Google Pay. And finally, Fitbit Pay. I didn't even know there was a Fitbit Pay. If you happen to have a Fitbit Charge 3 Special Edition, Fitbit Versa Special Edition, or Fitbit Ionic, you'll be able to use Fitbit Pay to access OMNY. New York is hardly the first city to support Fitbit Pay as a transit payment option. It's also available in Chicago, Vancouver, Singapore, Sydney, Taiwan, and London. The MTA's OMNY system begins rolling out in select areas of New York City starting today, May 31st. So I gather, as of today, you can use it on the 4, 5, and 6 trains. I used to take the 6 train to cross Manhattan every day when I worked at Citibank.
Yeah, they're really late though. You know, I know Mike had posted in the room the other day, like we're the last ones to actually
they're very
get on
late.
board with contactless payments for everything. Like,
yeah, they're very late with this stuff. And what I found interesting was that when they said it would take 2 years for the what was
for
the
it to be? It was, I think they said 2020?
2020 for this to be everywhere, but then it said, what was the one that said 2021? That was ridiculous, I thought.
Oh, I think for the rest of the, let me see.
Anyway, that just seems like an awfully long time. I mean, I used to work as a programmer in New York, and there are hundreds of thousands of programs. Why would it take that long?
Except for the physical card. Like if you don't want to use an app or your phone, I guess they're trying to say they'll have a physical card out.
Oh yeah, so you wouldn't have to use
specific
cash.
for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just seemed like
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're dragging their feet. That's why
they certainly are.
I know even like the stores. I see more stores around here have it than used to. And matter of fact, thinking of this, I just seen an article today that said, was it Publix? I think it was Publix. There was like an announcement that said they were going to be supporting Apple Pay, and they like pulled it back and were like, never mind. They meant to say it was Publix Pay, like they're having their own.
Oh, their own like Walmart does.
Yeah, their own payment system. So I don't know. I
Okay.
guess everybody, it's kind of like messaging with, everybody tries to do their own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I still don't think CVS takes payments from Apple or Samsung or anybody.
Yeah, the only place I use mine is basically Walgreens.
Yeah,
I use mine in Walgreens and my local Sam's Club. Aside from that, I don't use it anywhere else.
Okay. And I know you can use it, at any McDonald's, but I don't do McDonald's. I'm a Burger King guy, so.
Burger King don't have it?
Yeah, the rare times when I go. I say I'm a Burger King guy, but I walk into either one maybe once a year, if that, So.
Yeah, I know around here we got some places like Burger King. I guess you said I know McDonald's, ShopRite.
Yeah, I would think it would spread faster in your area because you're really close to Philly and you're between New York and Philly, so I would think it would spread there pretty quick. Chattanooga is not in any great area, other than 2 hours away.
I like using it at like the ATM, like when I go to the bank.
Right.
Instead of taking out my card, I can just wave the watch in front of the ATM and just put my PIN number. I like using it there.
Show off.
Yeah. Yeah, Wells Fargo is slow. They were like, actually, I think the first bank that I seen with it around here was Bank of America.
Yeah, I was gonna say my bank is always one of the first, and that's Bank of America.
Yeah, they had it. I think they were the first ones with Samsung Pay too around here.
So I guess we're saying you can bank on Bank of America. Okay.
Yeah, I guess you can.
So that's more bang for your buck? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I guess so. Six, you want to get this next story? We talked about a little bit of this earlier.
Yeah, Amazon reportedly interested in acquiring Boost Mobile from T-Mobile and Sprint. According to a report from Reuters, this evening, Amazon is interested in acquiring Boost Mobile from T-Mobile and Sprint. Amazon is also said to be interested in any wireless spectrum that could be divested and report ads. It's unclear why exactly Amazon would want to acquire Boost and Sprint and T-Mobile. Doing so would give the company access to T-Mobile's wireless network for at least 6 years. Reuters says, of course, Amazon is a major hardware player now, and having access to T-Mobile's network could be a big deal for certain products. For T-Mobile and Sprint, selling Boost Mobile could be a concession as the two look to receive regulatory approval and complete their proposed $26 billion merger. Offloading Boost Mobile would allow the two to reduce their market share in the prepaid wireless business potential, easing antitrust concerns. T-Mobile and Sprint have offered concessions including selling Boost to reduce their market share in the prepaid wireless business and gain regulatory approval for their planned $26 billion merger. The U.S. Justice Department would need to scrutinize the buyer of a divested asset to ensure it will stay viable and preserve competition. The carriers are also considering divesting wireless spectrum or airwaves that carry data in order to push the merger through. A report yesterday claimed that the top Department of Justice officials want T-Mobile and Sprint to create a new carrier as part of a merger. A merger between Sprint and T-Mobile would reduce number of large carriers in the United States from 4 to 3, but antitrust officials view requiring the creation of a fourth carrier as a way to preserve competition.
And that was the story we already went through.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, and I'd say, where it says that this department would need to scrutinize the buyer for Boost to ensure it will stay viable. Well, I think if Amazon buys it, I think you can be pretty sure they'll stay invested. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Mike is always saying he thinks Amazon should get back into making phones. Well, I don't know if this will be
That's
like
right. He said
their
that last week
push.
or the week before, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't know if this will be their push to, I guess, come back out with an Amazon phone again.
Well, hopefully a better phone, because that last one didn't do so well.
Yeah, speaking of Amazon, though, you seen that leak with the Moto on Amazon. What was that? The Moto Z?
Moto Z4, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, Bad News Brown says Boost Mobile sucks, at least where I live. I've never used it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Those country areas, the coverage isn't good.
Oh, he said it's so bad you have to go outside to make a phone call. That's bad.
That is pretty bad.
Yeah, imagine if it was 5G, you'd never be able to make a phone call.
Yeah, that is pretty bad.
Anyway, so what do you think of the chances that the government's going to let Amazon buy Boost? I think Jeff Bezos has a lot of clout.
Yeah, I think he'll be able to do it.
Yeah.
It's just like you said, just based off his name alone, they're gonna, like you said, Amazon is kind of got their foot in everything. So
yeah,
their hands
and that's what they're doing. They're spreading out, and maybe that's the way the world should go. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's better, more competition. Can't just be Google and Apple, running everything. But in this case, just mainly Google, because they got their foot in shopping, their hand in shopping. They got the phones, they got search. Yeah. So at least Amazon is kind of giving them some competition, because it's kind of boring just Google and Apple to look forward to every year. So.
Yeah. Gary, Bad News Brown, that's Gary. He's saying Walmart should buy Boost Mobile. That would make sense also, really.
Now, Walmart, they have their own, what is it, their MVNO? What's it called? Like their own little...
the one they advertise on TV. The heck is it called?
It's not Simple. Simple Mobile?
No, I think they might own that too, but that's not the big one.
I don't know what theirs is called. I know whenever I go to Walmart, they always got their section with their phones. Their prepaid. I don't know. I mean, I guess if Amazon comes out with a phone again, I don't know. I remember I had a couple of their tablets. I didn't like them because of the ads.
Mm-hmm.
I never had their phone. I think Mike had an Amazon phone a couple years ago.
Oh, did he? Okay.
I think he did have a phone from them. One of the ones with all the ads on it.
No, you're right. It is Simple Mobile.
It's Simple. Yeah.
Oh, and Straight Talk. That's the other one.
Straight Talk. Yeah, Straight Talk Wireless. I think that one is pretty popular around here. I know a lot of people talk about that.
Yep. I know people with it too.
Speaking of Mike, there he goes. He just popped in the room.
Oh, Mike is in there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, you surprised at how much better looking you've gotten? Say something, Six.
He said you look younger, Mike.
There you go. I couldn't resist that.
Oh man. Look like you got a haircut. Yeah.
Oh, and Mike is saying he still has his Amazon phone. No ad.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Let me see. All right, let's see. This one is I guess I was gonna take this one out, but George said he's actually a fan. So we got a little promo here from Apple Pay, which is I think pretty rare. Apple doesn't usually give any incentive to use any of their services.
Well, this article is saying it does. I didn't even know. But
well, I never really see nothing. Latest Apple Pay deal offers $5 off select Fandango movie ticket purchases.
Oh, and this is on 9to5mac.com, by the way.
Yeah. Apple continues it's weekly, and I don't know.
Me neither. I knew nothing about it.
Promotions today with an offer for Fandango. This deal gives you $5 off when you buy certain tickets via the Fandango app on iOS or website and check out with Apple Pay. Through this promotion, you get $5 off when you purchase 2 or more tickets to see Rocket Man, the new Elton John biopic. This deal isn't quite as generous as past Apple Pay promotions for Fandango. Last year, Apple offered $5 off any ticket purchase from Fandango. I missed that. You can use Apple Pay in the Fandango app on iOS or via Apple Pay on the web. The promo code Rocket Man is good until June 3rd. Yeah, I never. Let me see. That gives you the details.
Yeah.
Ticket purchase must be made using Apple Pay. Limit one promo code per person. Then it says Apple has been offering Apple Pay discounts through various retailer services and restaurants on a weekly basis recently. Last week, Apple Pay offered $1 tacos through Taco Bell. I had no idea.
I did see that. I did see that last week.
And a deal earlier in the month brought Mother's Day promotions. I didn't even know.
Okay,
And I tried to use Apple Pay, and I didn't know they had anything.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Because I know Samsung, so I always thought Samsung had the best. They still do probably the best.
Rewards.
The best program for using their pay service.
Right. But as far as so this one is just for the one movie for Rocket Man, and and I'm a big Elton John fan. I have 18 Elton John albums, but I'm not going to go see this movie more than likely. This just doesn't look very interesting to me, but I could be wrong.
Gary Brown said he'll pass on Rocket Man.
Yeah, me too, and I'm a big Elton John fan.
Yeah, when I first seen it, I thought it was for any movie ticket purchase. So I was like, oh, all right, a lot of people probably going to the movies.
So what we're saying is, before any of us go see this movie, well, I think it's going to be a long, long time.
Let me see. Ultra Tech is saying, did anybody thinking about picking up the LG V35 on Cricket? I think I did see they had like some kind of deal on that. I think Mike has a V30, a V30S.
Yeah, the blue one, I think is right.
Yeah, he's got a V30, I think.
It's probably still in the March security patch from last year.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
No love, right?
Eleanor says she's waiting for Ant-Man. Okay.
Okay. LG does not update their phone.
Mike's enjoying my puns. That's good. Okay. Yeah, I know why Six enjoys my puns, because he likes to get punched. Oh.
Oh man. Let me see. Puns, go George. Yeah, I guess it still is on that security patch. Mike said, "Yep."
Yeah.
I think
Munchie's in here now too. The professor is here.
Okay. What's going on, Munchie? I think Mike gave up on the security patches for that phone. It's kind of a lost cause. I guess as long as the phone works, that's it. That's all. At least he's got his wide angle camera and all that, so he's good.
Hey, I've got my wide angle camera on my OnePlus 7 Pro. So
yeah. I'm thinking you have you do have the S10e, right? That's got a wide angle too, right?
Yeah, got it right here.
Yeah, so you're good too.
Oh, and I guess I should show people what I got yesterday.
Oh yeah, George, where's your purchase that you made the other day last week?
This is what I got as of yesterday morning, the Axon M folding phone. Okay.
Where's Big Dog?
Yeah, Big Dog over here. So, what is this trash? All you guys are buying is trash. But
oh man.
Keep in mind, it was Jay Will that started this when he bought it, and he started doing it, and he said something that made a lot of sense. Now, of course, I didn't buy it when it came out. What was it, $700 or something like that? It was an AT&T only. But when Jay Will found it, he was paying something like $130, $135, and all of a sudden, that's pretty cheap. And he made one point. He said, if you're a YouTuber, you should get this phone for your collection because it's historic. And I said, he's right. So I look on Amazon last Friday while we were live, and it was $127. I bought the phone. That's one mode. So you're seeing the same screen on both screens. See it move, okay? But then you can change the mode. Okay, there's another mode. Now you're seeing the next page of the screens, okay? And there's still another mode. Come on, there you go. Now you're seeing two different screens so you can do an app here, and you still got your other screen over here. So when I got it yesterday, I did a little bit of an unboxing video, which I haven't put up yet. I'll put it up tomorrow or Sunday. And of course, when you fold it up, it's just kind of like a regular phone. But
yeah, they even made a hashtag Hinge Gang, and everything for that phone.
so it's cool. I like it, but I realized as soon as I got it set up, I'm going to take some learning and some experiencing to figure out how to use these modes. The camera, you have to turn it certain ways because there's only one camera, which is on the front and none on here. So anyway, I'll be using it. I'll use it as a daily driver, and I'm like, no, this thing is too confusing for me right this second to be used as a daily driver. And you can't get a proper case for it. DTE originally made a proper case for it. Gotta keep in mind, it's 2 years ago. Well, they're the only ones that make a case for it, and it's unavailable now. So right now, I had this patch case laying around, and I'm using that right now because if I take this out of the house, I'm not sticking this in my pocket with two screens, rubbing up against my pants on the inside of my pocket. So I ordered another pouch case that I could put on my belt when I'm going to use it. But I'm glad I got it, and I'll be learning it, and I'll be slowly making videos showing people what I'm learning as I go along. But it's just so different for me from anything else I've used. It's going to be a slow process, and I'm old. Let's remember that. Okay. So, but I'm very happy that I got it. And what's his name? Who says it's trash? Big Dog. So Big Dog comes in.
Big Dog is not a fan.
So I guess I'll just.
I don't think Forbes is a fan either.
Okay.
No, Forbes definitely not a fan.
All right. So if you want to beat up on me, here's your chance. Okay. So feel free. I know Serrano has it. He seems to like it. And
I mean, it might catch on more if they like I seen the developers were saying they might start making ROMs for it and doing stuff. If they do that, I guess it'll catch on pretty big.
Yeah. Now, when I open it on YouTube and have both screens open, I can see the entire screen. The entire video on both screens at the same time. It spreads right across. But you open other apps, and of course, nobody's developed for it. So it says, well, you can't do this dual screen. So,
yeah.
Anyway, so it's kind of fascinating. So I think I'll have fun with
it. Forbes said he's trying to stay quiet on that subject.
Okay. Joseph is being nice. Good for you, Joseph. I appreciate it. He doesn't believe.
You want him to stay quiet, or you want him to rant?
Rant. I want him to rant, man.
Yeah, he's not a fan of that phone.
Yeah, Sixto wants to see me get beat up. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. That's what old folks are for. Get beat on.
Yeah,
Joseph, you say anything you want to say. It's okay.
But that's the one thing that is kind of a drawback. What's it on Nougat or what's it on George 7, 7.0, something like that?
God, it's
7.1, I think.
Let me go
that's
let's go take a look.
Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, it's on Android version. Yeah, it's on 7.1.2. Wow. Hey, but at least it has the September 1st last year security patch. We're ahead of Mike's phone.
That was cool. That's true. But yeah. So, Georgia, you said you watch YouTube on it or no?
Yes, and it spreads across. Let me see if I can pull something.
Does that line get on your nerves?
No. Yeah. See, that kind of thing is probably just not going to bother me. I'm going to try to pull one up to see if I can show you. I can show it the right way. That's the thing. These modes kind of throw me off. Let me see what happens as I spread.
Gary Brown said it's on ice cream sandwich.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, man.
Okay. There you go. That's what it looks like on YouTube, spread across the entire thing. So, I like it. But if I actually listen to this, that's us right there. Okay.
Yeah, see that line, Mike.
That doesn't bother me at all. Anyway, it's the one foldable phone that works. Nobody else in the world can say that.
Yeah, that's true. Forbes said he wants to get it and run it over with his car. He should stream it on YouTube. I bet you he'll get a whole bunch of views.
Oh, Joseph,
He'll
he
get a lot of views.
can do a Tony Pazzo and take a hammer to it. His ETE is used to somebody taking a hammer to it because of Tony.
Yeah, Munchie said they even split the play button with that line. Yeah, see, that would drive me crazy.
Yeah, so far it hasn't.
I would have to watch it the other way. Like, can't you watch it?
You can watch it both ways. Yes, I tried that. Yeah.
That's.
I don't go both ways, but my phone does. Okay. I had
George is crazy. Oh God. Let me see. We got one more here. We got one more article. Now I guess we spoke about George's Axon. The Note 10.
Yeah.
Samsung Galaxy Note 10 will reportedly drop the headphone jack and physical buttons. After a busy May that saw the Pixel 3a and the OnePlus 7 Pro launch.
You need to tell us what this is on 9to5Google.com.
Google, yeah.
Right.
The next wave of phone launches is brewing. A report today claims that Samsung will drop the headphone jack, power key, and volume buttons on the Galaxy Note 10. Now, this article is from yesterday. According to Android Police, the Galaxy Note 10 will lack a physical button and drop the headphone jack. Samsung has been a stalwart of the 3.5mm jack and kept the port longer than any other flagship device from Apple, Google, and the rest of the smartphone industry. They didn't put LG in there.
No, they did not.
In dropping the disconnector, the upcoming Note 10 will leave only USB-C and Bluetooth for audio. That port will be the sole connection for power and other Samsung features like DeX. As this flagship device is losing the port, this opens the possibility of Samsung dropping the jack on the next Galaxy S11. However, today's report is not currently aware of the company's intent to carry over both of these changes to the Galaxy S11. While there was a brief resurgence of the jack, it appears to be limited to the mid-range. And that's what we were saying earlier. They put it on the mid-range. No, wait, Six, what did you say? You said they
I know
it off,
Samsung
right?
has like the M line or some mid-range phone that
Right.
they took away the headphone jack.
Yeah, so
And those phones came out this year, and they kept it on the S10.
Yes, and he does have its headphone jack.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. The most interesting change reported today is Samsung dropping physical keys. AP specifically notes the absence of power, volume, and Bixby button. I guess
Yay!
Replacing these switches are capacitive or pressure-sensitive areas on the sides of the phone. The report speculates on the use of bumps or texture along the edge to signify their location. Vibration motors and haptics will play a key role in determining whether this ends up being a good experience. This change makes Samsung one of the biggest smartphone makers to signal a shift to solid-state devices that lack any physical entrances. Of course, USB-C is still present, but fast wireless charging could one day obviate that port as well. There are many upsides to this removal, including devices that people are keeping longer and longer, reducing the number of failure points like broken buttons. AP also points out how cutouts for buttons are often the weakest points in the unibody frame. The Galaxy Note 10 is expected to launch sometime this summer.
Now you got to give us the follow up that you told me about.
And right after, I guess today, I think I saw it on Twitter. Ice Universe, he's usually pretty reliable. He posted saying that Samsung originally was trying to eliminate the buttons, but I guess the design didn't work out, so they are keeping the buttons on the coming phone, the Note 10. But I guess we'll see. I mean, didn't HTC do this? Was it a year ago? 2 years ago?
Yeah, a while
with the
ago.
U12.
And theirs didn't do too good. People trashed it, I think, right?
Well,
they had
the reviewers
to send out updates for the phone, for the buttons.
Yeah. And
But
then
didn't some reviews kind of praise it too? I thought I remember that.
I don't remember anybody saying anything good about it.
Okay.
That I remember, but I don't know anybody who had the phone. I don't remember anybody who actually had it.
I know Jay Will had it. MKBHD did a video on it, but I know
That
Jay
wasn't
Will
the one.
did
That was a
some.
waste of space.
No, that wasn't the one. I know it was
Yeah, that was
the
a big one.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
you mentioned the headphone jack for Samsung. Uh, Gary Bad News Brown says Samsung A line doesn't have it, and Munchie said
That's the
M
one.
line is for millennials.
yeah, I mean, I guess if they get rid of it, LG will be the last ones. I really can't see LG ever getting rid of the headphone jack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
but
that's
you
their
know, when
only.
big companies start doing things, eventually everybody else is going to follow.
Yeah,
I would-
but if LG gets rid of the headphone jack, all right, what's their selling point?
yeah, well,
Right
that's
now,
true.
their whole selling point is
Well,
audio,
Is
basically,
the audio? That's true.
Their claw.
and
That's
the
the selling
camera,
point.
Yeah,
The
that's
claw.
true. Yeah,
and
those hand gestures, you know.
and the camera. Well, the pro mode and all that in the camera. The.
Yeah, their
But
next
Yeah, but
phone, you'll probably be able to say wax on, wax off.
yeah, I can't see them getting rid of it. That might be something that helps LG sell some phones. They might sell some more phones to people who really want that jack and care about their audio. But
Yeah. Now, Munchie is saying Google has a jack on the 3A and 3A XL, and that's what you were talking about. Well,
yeah,
about
and their reasoning for keeping it was stupid. They think people who spend that amount of money want choices. Well, what about the ones who spend $900 for the phone?
yeah.
They don't
So
want
they
the
don't think they
original.
want choices.
because the Pixel 3a kept the headphone jack, but they didn't bring headphones in the box. So you have to take
Oh
money out of your own pocket to buy
yeah,
that.
you
Well,
gotta.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, they're. I don't know. They're crazy.
But we do
They're
have the
backwards,
headphone
man.
jack. There it is on the 3A.
They're backwards. That's all. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The headphone jack is something. You know what? If anybody wants what is that? The G8 Best Buy has an open box, excellent condition for $525
There you go.
for the G8,
Sounds like a really good deal.
and it's unlocked and it's black. I was looking at it earlier. I almost picked it up.
You
Almost.
do a lot of almost.
I almost.
Almost.
I was considering it. But then I said,
Munchie mentions, and he's right. Xiaomi also has the headphone jack on their mid ranges as well. So,
it's $400. Buy your own headphones. Now I was listening to Android
good
Central
point.
earlier when I was at the gym, and George, your buddy on there, Jerry, he was
Right.
saying that everybody like they were one of them. I forget which one of them was like he wasn't trashing the 3A, but he was just like you can tell that it's $399. He was like everybody's praising it and saying it's so great, but he was like it's slower. He was going through the point. He was like the screen isn't as good. He was saying all his stuff. And he was like, it feels like a $300 phone or $400 phone minus the
Yeah,
camera.
see some of the
Now,
big YouTubers disagree with him.
yeah. Now Jerry was like, he basically said he thinks that he views it like this is how much phones should cost. You know what I mean?
Agree.
Like, like phones should only cost $400. He was like, I can buy a car for $1,000. He was like, but if I spend $1,000 on a Galaxy S10, he was like, I can't drive that to, you know what I mean? He was basically saying like, so they were going back and forth about how they feel about the phone and
So who was disagreeing with him? Anybody?
Well, they kind of, well, they were saying he was right about the price,
Right.
but they were kind of like going back and forth about what they thought Google's whole reasoning for doing it was. Yeah. But he made a good point. He was just like, Google finally got it right. Like he was like, this is Google doing it right. Like they shouldn't price their phones at $900. Like they should make the phone this amount because he was like that extra 10 seconds or whatever, 2 seconds that you gain from the app opening. He was like, is that really worth $500 or $600 more? You know what I mean? So we'll see.
Yeah, but my only concern with that phone is I don't have the phone, but that processor. Why couldn't they go with an 845, last year's processor? Because from the videos that I've seen, that when you take a picture, that it's a slower processing for the photo, but as the phone ages, how will that affect?
Worse.
Because
Yeah.
I know it'll get updates for 3 years, right?
Right.
But since Pixels
Right.
have, RAM management issues, and other software issues, how will that processor hold up the phone 2 or 3 years down the line?
Yeah, we'll see because I've had the phone 2 weeks and I find it to be lightning fast. It's great, but we got to see what it's going to do over time.
Yeah, Munchie just said it's not as slow as he made it seem, and I
Yeah,
kind
I
of
agree.
and that's what he said though. He was like, maybe it's that I'm spoiled because he was like, I used the OnePlus 6 and OnePlus 7. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm coming from these phones that are real fast. And
That's
going
what I
to that,
think. The 3A is
you
really fast enough.
Do
I'm
you
not
guys
thinking any stuttering issues or anything like that.
do you guys think the next iteration of the Pixel 3a line will have a wide angle camera?
That's one of the reasons why I didn't
I
get the
would hope.
G8 because I'm thinking they're going to put a wide angle camera on the next one. So I
No,
was
but
like,
not on the Pixel 4. I mean the next 3a line when next year rolls out.
oh,
Well, keep in mind now that
they're going to have to.
camera on
They're
the
going to have
Pixel 3A is basically the same camera that's on the big one.
They're
So I'm thinking if
they're
they do it the wide on the 4, they'll do it on the 4A. But who knows?
Yeah, they're going to have to. Google, I don't know. To me, they put themselves in a bad spot though by putting out this phone so close to the release of the next, the 4. This phone should have came out with the original Pixel, and that might have been their plan because I remember before the Pixel 3 came out, they kept saying they were supposed to release. Wasn't it 4 phones they were saying?
Yeah,
They
that's
had
right.
all these crazy numbers of phones they thought were coming out.
Yeah.
That would have been a better strategy because this is like if you just bought this phone and got the same camera, it's kind of like how can I pay them $1,000 when I know that their whole camera is all based off software, and if they wanted to give it to me in a $480 phone, they could.
Yeah.
So it's.
Did you see Munchie responded to your thing about the 845? Munchie said they might not be supporting the 845 for 3 more years. I think that's a good point.
Okay.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. See, that's what I like about Apple.
If the 4 has the wide angle, then the 4A should have it too. And I agree.
That's what I like about Apple. At least you know you're gonna get support for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you buy an iPhone 7, you're gonna get at least 3 years of updates.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Android. Even if you buy, let's say you buy an S9, right, instead of the S10, you're only gonna get one more update, Android Q, and you're not gonna see it till next year.
Yeah, when you
you never see
but I'm putting Samsung because it's the top of the line Android, but it happened to LG. It'll happen to OnePlus because a OnePlus in their conference said 2 years of updates and 3 years of security patches.
Right.
So if you buy the OnePlus 7 next year, you're only gonna get one more update.
Right. Exactly.
And I think I just saw
should be the separate one there because with what their top phones cost, they ought to be doing better than that, in my opinion.
Now, I just seen an article. They were saying LG, was it the V40? Something just got an update. It was like their first update
Oh, really?
ever, like that they ever released for the phone. I forget what they got updated to, but it was like the first update for the phone at all.
Wow.
Now, Munchie's saying that Google's working on a chip, and they talked about that a little bit on the podcast. They were just like, I think it was on the podcast. They said, no, you know what? It might not have been this pod. It might have been a different one. Basically, they said that Google started moving people around, so they don't even know.
I think you were seeing a video of Rene Ritchie because he had a guy from
Oh,
The
okay,
Verge.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Gary Brown, Bad News Brown, says Google. It's kind of what you were saying last week. Well, Google will never sell another $1,000 after the 3A. The most you can charge is $649. Well, I guess we're going to find out in a few months.
Gary, just wait. Oh yeah, see, he said the V40 got Oreo. Yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, watch. I guarantee you, Gary, that Pixel 4 is going to be $999 and $899. Watch.
Well, let's hope it has all that Halo camera.
$9.99 for the
4A.
64 gig.
yeah, for the 64 gig and $1,000 plus for the 128 gig.
Yeah.
Google does not, if not more, if they do that punch hole screen or whatever, and they're supposed to be doing the whole no button thing too. They're supposed to have capacitive things on the side.
Yeah.
I don't know. Google, I mean, the Pixel and all that, I never really had trouble with mine, but Google is going to have to work on their software or something because every year they have bad launches. When
There's
their phones
some
drop,
bad
there's
issues.
always problems.
That's why I'm glad that the 3A doesn't seem to have those problems. But yeah, they had problems with the Pixel 2. They had problems with the Pixel 3. So I'm going to keep trying my line.
Yeah, they always have software problems with their phone.
Even the first Pixel had I remember seeing some videos of the camera had like a halo effect
around it.
Yeah.
That's right. A lot of them did. Yeah.
Yeah, because of where they said it was like a physical thing, like where they put the camera at or something.
Exactly. That's right.
With the flash or something like that it caused that halo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rishi says the reason he has the OnePlus 7 Pro is because he doesn't want to sell his Pixel 3a XL.
I'm not a fanboy. Pixels always sputter at the 6-month point.
Okay, I guess I'll find out.
That's
original.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's like Google. I don't see how they can't get the software right though. There's always like bugs with it. Always. Every release, and they're like bad, like the thing not saving the photos and the memory management.
That's true.
I don't know. As much as they're charging, Google shouldn't be trying to still treat it like a Nexus phone. Like they know the phone, they know they can put more RAM in the phone. So it's like they're still trying to be like, yeah, we can run Android on 4 gigs.
But they still, sell the phone on the camera, so
yeah, I know, but if they put 6 gigs of RAM in the phone will probably perform better. But they still want to put it out with 4 gigs to show everybody, like, yeah, we don't need all that RAM. Like, put the RAM in the phone because you're charging $1,000.
So you're saying RAM it in there? Okay.
yeah. They ain't got to be like OnePlus, but just give it enough so that it runs.
Okay, now back to Gary Brown. He's saying his ain't sputtering, and he's had it for 19 months. Well, that's good to hear.
Oh wow, this is still running then. Yeah, I mean, I've never had no issues with mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I never had no issues with it either, but I know a lot of people had issues. A lot of people had issues. I know Mike's brother is using the Pixel 2 XL, and I think he's still using it. I think that's his main phone. He had the G7. Yeah. He got the G7, and I don't think he's used that since he got the 2 XL.
Ever since he got the XL, he doesn't even seem to touch that G7.
Yeah. So, let's see what else we got. All right. So I know George, you're just getting into Apple, but I guess me and Six could talk about it a little bit. What do you think's coming for Apple's event, Six?
WWDC.
What are you looking forward to anyway? WWDC.
For the iPhone, I don't think we're gonna get that big of a change. I mean, I don't get as much customization as we think or as we want. I think the home screen, like the app drawer, is gonna be the same. I think there's still gonna be a widgets page, and then the whole app. This is gonna be the same. I think the whole emphasis that people want is dark mode. I think I've always wanted dual app support on my phone, but I think they're gonna keep it on the iPad because I think that they see the iPad as a more productive device, and it'll keep people buying it. I think just for that, because I love using dual screens on my iPad. I don't know why at least on the 10, a 5.8 screen can't do it, because Samsung did it on a 5.5 with the Galaxy S5. I think they have it like that.
Yeah. I think the S4 didn't the S4 have dual?
I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember if the S4 had dual window because I didn't even have the 5. I had the 3, the 4, and I know I got the 6, the 7. I can't remember if they had it on the 4 or not, but
I only had the S4. I don't remember if it had split screens or not though. Too far back.
It would fix the camera settings, because camera settings like so it's such a drag because you have to get out of the camera, go into the
Oh
settings,
my God, yes.
and that's horrible. I don't
Yes,
know why
that is
they.
a problem. I honestly, I don't think they're gonna fix that. I think they're gonna leave it. I don't know if if enough people don't complain about it or if they just don't care. I think they're leaving the settings the way they are, which I hate. How you have to go, like you said, go to the oh God, don't even don't even talk about it. But I mean, I think everybody's gonna be disappointed
Gary
because
Brown is saying WWDC dark mode and death of iTunes.
no four for Chinese phones. That's bad luck. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think
That's
everybody's gonna
true.
be disappointed because everybody was so hyped up, and it's kind of Apple's fault because when they didn't push the so-called big update that they had for last year, everybody kept saying, "Oh yeah, it was supposed to be a big redesign, but we just focused on bugs." So that kind of made everybody think that we were getting like a whole new home screen, being able to put the stuff where you want, and I don't see Apple doing none of that.
Yeah, I've seen
I
some
don't see
rumors
nothing
about that
coming
too.
that's going to be exciting at all.
I think it'll
Like
be
I know
weird seeing an iPhone where you can just put the apps where you want them. It'll be weird because we've been having this setup for like what 10 years plus,
12 years.
yeah,
12 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be weird, but I mean, I mean, I understand why they won't do it, but they should
Mhm.
have like an option, like Samsung. I remember Samsung used to have easy mode or something like that. They should have an option on the phone where you can put the icon where you want, where it don't have to be lined up. You know what I mean? Like you can't leave a blank space, like stuff like that. That's that's
what I
terrible.
wish what I wish they would have is for you to control the screen resolution. But again, Apple won't give you that much customization
Yeah,
for battery life because on Androids you can lower it down to 720p if you want to save some battery
right.
or crank up the resolution. But I don't think Apple will give us
I
that.
think they'd let you change the apps around before they give you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta, it's gonna be disappointing though. I mean, I think we're getting dark mode, and then most of it, like you said, is gonna be on the iPad. I think most of the design changes are gonna be iPad stuff. I don't think we're getting multi-window on the iPhone. I don't
But
think.
Will, correct me if I'm not mistaken, because I've been on Mac not even like 2 or 3 months. I think you can't do two apps on the screen, right? On a Mac,
On the
yeah.
um,
Because I know on
yeah,
Windows you can have two screens.
yeah, you can have two. Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you can because I remember when I first started with Mac, I think I used to try to look it up and there was like some kind of workaround or something that you could use to do it.
Okay. Okay.
You mean like Windows? Like, yeah, Windows, you can open up two things and have them both.
Yeah, I think that could be a nice update for macOS.
Oh, wait. What do
Aside
you
from
mean though? I'm trying to figure out what you mean. You mean
like
like
if I have Hangouts, like I can have two apps open. Like I have Safari and Hangouts at the same time, but I can't put them side to side
oh yeah,
like this.
one
I
takes
can't.
over. Yeah, one is
Yeah,
the active. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like Windows where you can snap
yeah.
them and yeah, it's not the same. But
For
I don't even think
WatchOS,
they're
I don't know what they're gonna what more can Watch do, to be honest, because I use the Apple Watch more for notifications. I wish I could use it for exercise, but I can't put a hand wrap aside in my wrist and put the glove on, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
work for
true.
me that way.
Yeah,
gonna.
that's
So
true.
I wish I could use it like that, but I just can't.
Yeah. Munchie said you can do. He said you can do split window on Mac.
Okay.
Mm, I don't know. I know you
Um,
can't do it. I don't think you can do it like you can on Windows. So I'm
since
not.
you guys are the experts while you're talking, I'll see if I can do it on my old
Um,
Mac.
but yeah, the watch. I don't know what else they can do to the watch. I mean, it seems like it kind of lost some steam as far as all the apps. Because I remember before they had a lot of apps for it. Like I think in the
Because I
beginning you
remember
were developers are more into it.
I started seeing like Flossy Carter's and Pocket now, like old reviews when the first Apple Watch came out. I think they had like an Instagram app where you can like see your pictures on the watch or something like that. But now you can only see your likes. There wasn't like an integrated Instagram app on the watch store. Can you hear me?
You guys went quiet on me.
George, can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. Will, can you hear us?
Yeah, but we can't hear
Yeah, I
him.
can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, no.
Hear
Yeah,
you.
they kind of the development, like for the watch. I think the people kind of they abandoned it. I don't know. I know I've seen developers on Twitter basically saying that nobody really wants to work with WatchKit or whatever they call it. So
Watch
I don't
it.
really see too many changes coming for the watch either. I think it's going to be disappointing. They're going to probably bring us new emojis and new what are things called Animoji.
Yeah.
Here,
I
I'm
still
going to
wish
show you.
they
I'm
would.
going to show you guys something. Okay, there's two windows side by side on my
Okay.
MacBook Air. You see them?
Yeah.
Looks to me like you could use both. Is that what you mean,
Okay.
Six?
Yeah, you can put them side by side. That's what I didn't know if you can do.
Yeah.
But
So
from
seems
yeah,
to be
okay.
okay. The novice figures it out. I love it.
Yeah, but yeah, and then they were saying they're gonna have I seen Gary Brown said something about the death of iTunes. I think I read something
Yeah.
about they are kind of. I don't know if they're gonna get rid of it this year or next year,
So
but I
that's
think
serious? I thought he was kidding.
nah, I think they are getting rid of iTunes. I think
Okay.
yeah, and I know they're making some apps that are gonna like the apps that are gonna be able to work on both like they're gonna come from the phone I think and work on the Mac.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be like a disappointing, a disappointing update from what I was hoping for last year. Because when they were talking about it in the beginning of last year, I thought they were going to really bring a good update. But I guess they're going to play it safe again. And it'll be boring.
That's kind of what Apple does. I'm just
Yeah,
asking.
they do it every year. They play it safe every year. Every
But
year.
is it just me or can't download a video using an iPhone, right?
No.
Or if you
No,
can, you have to like there's a workaround on it.
you'll need like a special app to do it.
Oh.
Or they were saying they were supposed to put I think on the iPad like a download manager for Safari, and they're
Okay.
supposed to update the files. There's some stuff like I think they're gonna put on the iPad, but they're not gonna go too far because they don't want to. They don't want people to just buy an iPad instead of buying a MacBook
MacBook.
Air.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they were saying everybody wants like mouse support, and the rumor is it's gonna have there's gonna be like an accessibility feature where you'll be able to plug a mouse into your iPad Pro
Okay.
and use it. So I'm sure everybody's going to be using that if it works. Like it sounds like it's going to work. But
But
Once
I
you
think
want,
that
once you want PP emoji, and there's a poo emoji. Why not? I guess.
oh man, yeah, they Munchie's crazy. Yeah, they don't want everybody to just buy a iPad and not buy a MacBook. So they're kind of. I think that's why they're limiting it because if you look at the like even yours six, look at your Mac. I mean your iPad Pro. It's so powerful. Like it's like a computer. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
the only thing that's holding it back is iOS. Like
And mine's an old version. This is the Pro, the 9.7 Pro from 2016. So this has like the 9X chip on it. So I think it will get 2 years more of updates. So I'm good with it.
Well, my MacBook Air is 3 years old and it's still getting updates.
yeah, like I see they got the new one. What's that? The new MacBook. I think people were respecting those things. That was like $5,000-$6,000.
You're talking
Yep.
$6,000. That's what Jaime
Yeah.
Rivera said. Even he said in his video, "Are they crazy?"
Yeah, that is crazy. $6,000.
But people buy them. I think that with Apple, they keep selling their products because people want what they can't have. And the design alone, the design when you go into an Apple store, at least here in Puerto Rico, we don't have like an Apple store per se. They have another name, but when I go inside,
Yeah, same thing here in Chattanooga, by the way.
yeah, you look
don't
at
have an
all
Apple
the.
store
Huh?
there? There's no Apple store there?
No, but it's the same thing with another name.
Oh,
Because
okay.
remember when I got my iPhone, I had to go to the store a couple of times. That's where I went. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I forget the name. Now Munchie is saying, like George said, if you have a poop emoji, why not PP emoji? Why the bias?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But would you
But I
say
also,
Six, when you go to the store?
yeah, but when you go to an Apple store, you see all how the Macs are displayed, how the MacBooks are placed, how the iPhones are placed. You just want to buy it all. But you can't because you have to
Yeah,
put out like 10 grand. You want to buy every single product in the Apple
yeah,
store.
Yeah.
yeah. They know how to. It's kind of like, I don't know. I think what happened is, in 2007 when all that stuff started really getting big, they kind of just captured a whole bunch of people, and everybody sticks with what they know. They don't change. So
Exactly. And that's what Apple
just keep
depends on.
buying.
Oh, 6 in Chattanooga, it's called Simply Mac.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, like everybody. That's what everybody always complains. They say Apple is basically they limit their laptops because they're trying to make it the thinnest and make it look so nice. You know what I mean? So they kind of lose some of the function of it because they're trying to make it look so good, but
I
people
think they're
still buy
kind
it.
of successful there, don't you? Because people carry MacBooks around way more than any other computer. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the people that want to spend the money the money for them, yeah. Because I mean, like I know my MacBook, I probably could have got like four Windows computers for. They wouldn't have been great, but they would have been all right. You know what I mean? They would have worked. But
Yeah, I
see, to
agree.
me, I don't know. I guess I kind of got not scared of Windows. When I used to use Windows, it was always something. Like I always had an issue with it. So I
You
kind
see,
of once I was able not to have a Windows computer, I didn't get one no more. Like
you
once I
see,
had
it's
another one, it
easier
was
for somebody like me who was a programmer and worked on nothing but Windows computers for years at work. So I'm used to Windows no matter what.
yeah. See, I used to hate
I,
like doing all the drivers and all that,
Yep.
And then when Windows 10 came, I didn't like. Wasn't it the beginning when Windows 10 first came? Wasn't that was when everybody was complaining about it? I didn't like it in the beginning. I think
A
they
lot of
fixed
people complained about it. Now, for me, from a person who uses it at work and stuff and uses it every day, I thought Windows 10 was a great revelation.
it. Yeah, see, I didn't like it in the beginning, and I think I tried like three computers, and I did not like it. And I was, I was like, I can't do this, so I just got rid of it, and I went and got a MacBook. I didn't like Windows 10 in the beginning.
Archie's saying Windows XP days. Yeah, those were some rough days.
I remember on Windows, I used to always get the blue screen. I
I
forget what
did
it
it
was
way back
called.
when, but that would have been
Yeah,
early
I used to
2000
get the blue
or 90.
screen. Yeah, the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then it would always, the pop ups used to always come. Oh my God. I used
Yeah,
to
to
hate
me, from Windows 7 onward, things have been fine. That's how I look at it.
with that Metro. Yeah, there you go, Munchie. The Metro UI. Yeah, I
Oh, that
didn't
was
like that.
terrible. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was terrible. That was one of the worst things they ever came up with. You know.
yeah. I think Windows is better now. At work, we use Windows computers at work.
Mm-hmm.
They're not buying us no. They're not buying us no Mac. But to do what we got to do at work, they work fine. But yeah, I
But
don't know. Six. You
but you
just
also
got
have
your
a support crew, right?
um. When I go to work, we don't. they're
Doing
they're gone already. 'Cause I work night shift, so
yeah.
nobody like most of the time they got a problem. They'll call me to go over there and help them figure out
Oh,
what's
really?
wrong. But usually, yeah, during the day, I guess they can call the IT people. But
Exactly.
um, yeah, now Six, you just got your MacBook right last year.
mine is a 2017 one because
Yeah,
I saw it on Swappa, and a guy was selling it. I I got it for $750 in box. It was practically brand new. The only thing that was missing was the wrapper in the box, because it came with everything. Like, the guy never even touched it, and it's been working excellent ever since. I really can't complain about it. I was like you at the beginning when I saw the home screen on the Macs. I would get like scared. But how the hell do I touch this? How do I navigate?
No, I
Because
was
I've
a
always
month
been.
ago, a month ago with my MacBook Air. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you wanted a wrapper, I could do that for you, brother. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just got used to it, right?
Really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm finding with my now, of course, I bought my Air just to do my 4K videos, which is like 3 times faster than on Windows. But starting with my second one, and now I've done 4 of them, and it gets easier every time. So yeah, I'm learning how to use it and how to move around. So it's like anything else, you learn, you know. And that's what people told me I would learn, you know, like that.
Yeah. Now, Six, you got the iPad Pro. Do you think your iPad could replace your MacBook? Like, if you got your iPad Pro first, I don't know if you did. Yeah, you did, right? You had your iPad Pro first before you got the MacBook.
All of a sudden, Six is saying he can't hear us. Six, can you
Yeah.
hear me at all? I don't think he's hearing either one of us.
Yeah, I was just wondering if he thinks that he would have, like, if he got the iPad Pro first,
Yeah, I was
would
wondering
he
the
have
same
still
thing.
gotten the Mac? Because a lot of people
I think he's
say
working
that.
on his hearing issues. You know,
Yeah.
it's a very eerie problem. Okay.
I told you.
Okay, you're back. You hear us now, Six?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
Will, go ahead and
Yeah,
ask your question.
what did you get first? You got the iPad first or the MacBook?
Okay, my first like product of Apple was the iPod Nano. I think it was the 4th gen, but that wasn't really my going in the ecosystem.
Right.
And after the Nano, I bought the 5th gen Nano, which was the one that for the first time brought a camera. Then I bought the 6th gen Nano, which was basically an Apple Watch, you know, the squared one.
Yeah.
Then I bought the 7th gen Nano. Then I had an iPod Touch. But I got this iPad Pro. Then after the Pro, I got an iPhone.
Okay, so
after the iPhone, I got the Apple Watch. Then after the Apple Watch, I got the iPhone 10.
Oh, okay.
And then I got the MacBook. So slowly but surely, I got it.
Will.
Yeah. So I guess you still wanted the computer then. I was gonna say, do you think that you could have just did with the iPad Pro instead of getting the MacBook? Like, if you would have just got
really,
the keyboard.
To a certain extent, no, because I miss certain things. I still use Android, or at least my Note, for certain things that I can't do with the iPad, and I definitely can't do with the iPhone. But with the Mac, I feel like I can expand my horizons, and I'm using my Note less and less. And just like I said, it's mostly just as a media consumption device. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the Mac, I can download videos, I can move files, and transfer them easier with AirDrop, which is one thing that I really enjoy. And I get why people say it's hard to leave the Apple ecosystem once you got the Mac, the Apple Watch, the phone, and the iPad.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Once you get everything, it is it is kind of hard to go to Android.
You can live without the Apple Watch. I felt like that's a more the way that I use it. I use it more as a notification manager, so I don't have to be glued onto my phone. I can just leave it at the kitchen, for example, and I see all the notifications that I get, and I get a WhatsApp.
Which still sounds like you're seeing it more as a luxury than the rest.
Yeah, But I got the watch because I found it at a reasonable price.
Right.
Because I wasn't gonna buy it brand new. Because I really
got it as a present, but it was secondhand. It was
yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, see, that is I don't know. To me, that's like the purpose of the Apple Watch is like so you don't have to take out your phone as much. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, but
and you can do just about.
with Android watches as far as notifications.
Yeah, but Joy, man, I tried
no
so
problem
many
with
Android
the
watches.
reason I like the Apple Watch so much is because of the exercise stuff. It's because of the workout stuff.
Yeah, but see, to me, it's different because, like, all right, the Android watches, like, all right, if you have a Samsung phone and you get, see, to me, I don't even consider Android Wear anymore, but it's just different. Like because certain, I don't know, I haven't had it in a while, but like, let's say what do you have? Android. You have a lot of them. Just name one of your watches you got.
Okay, I have the ZTE Quartz, which is Android
All right.
Wear.
So
I have.
if you use your ZTE Quartz and you pair that with your Galaxy S10e, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to do everything from it like if you had a Samsung watch?
No.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't like.
But when I pair it with any other phone, yeah, I get everything I want, especially as far as notifications. I find the notifications just as good as the notifications on my Apple Watch. Just
And you can
notifications that are coming to my phone. And with that particular watch, the Quartz, I can also talk on it the same as I can
on the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. I tried a few. I tried Huawei's watch, the first and the second one. The Moto.
I did like my Fitbit Versa a lot until I got the Apple Watch. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I think even though Apple, like Six was saying, they kind of keep you locked in, but it's like it works so well. And I guess since Apple keeps everything tight, like you can't use another watch with an iPhone, or you can't.
Right.
It kind of like conditions you into using that. Like if I was to go back to Android Wear, I think I'd be disappointed. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like on
by
my
the way,
Apple Watch, somebody sent me a video the other day. I was able to pull up the video on the watch and watch. You know what I mean? Like, and what was you saying?
on your iPhone yesterday?
Yesterday.
Yeah, I got one.
I didn't get nothing unless it just did it by itself. Let me see.
Yeah, I had one yesterday.
Oh no, I see it now. I see it now though. 12.3.1. I see it now. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, they keep you locked in. But the way everything works together, it is kind of hard. Like if you got the AirPods and it's hard to.
Nigel's saying I will get an Apple Watch eventually. Nigel, you know I'm a Google guy, but best watch I ever owned by far.
I don't know. I don't know what Google's whole thing is with Android Wear. I kind of think they're giving up on it because I thought they would have put out a watch already.
I get the same feeling,
I think they kind of threw in the towel because
it's like they tried, and it seems like they're giving up. You're right.
Yeah, because and then to me that's the problem with with Android Wear though, because there's so many different watches from all different companies. Like I remember when I had the Huawei watch, like you said, that one came with the speaker and you were able to talk on that one. But then if you buy another one, it might not have the speaker, it might not have NFC. Like it's too much differences in the,
Yep.
To me, things like that, Google should come in and be like, listen, all of them need to have certain things. And then from there, you can do what you want.
Yep.
So that at least you can know what to expect when you buy the watch.
Oh, I wanted to show you something. I just pulled Facebook up on the Axon M for the first time. Now, watching a YouTube video, that split doesn't bother me. But looking at that Facebook picture, that bothers me. I brought it up. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess because there's a image split right down the middle,
Yeah. And I seen I forget who it was. I think Nigel posted. Somebody posted Apple's got a patent or just got a patent for a foldable something.
Yes, I saw that too. Yeah, I think it was.
It wasn't. I don't think it was for a phone. I think it was for like an iPad or something.
No, I think
I don't know.
somebody said they had a patent for a phone, for a
Okay.
foldable phone.
I think that's what they'll do. I don't think they're gonna do a foldable phone. I think they'll do a foldable iPad. That's what I think they'll do. I think like the next thing would be a foldable iPad. I can't see them putting out a because if they make the phone bigger, why would you buy the iPad at all? Like, I don't know. I just don't think they'll do it. But we'll see, I guess. And if they do, Apple's gonna charge you probably $2,000, three
You
thousand dollars.
count on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if they also make a foldable iPad, it'll be less prone to problems like a phone, because you know what happened to this with when you if the Galaxy phone went on sale and you would have bought it, you really have to baby that phone, because if
Right.
you put it in your pocket and just a little bit of lint
Yeah.
gets in that phone, it's done. Sad. Your 2018 grand is down the toilet.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's why, George, I always tell you, I think there's no way that they didn't know that phone had
But
issues.
why, Sixto, do you think they wouldn't have the same time? I mean, they could have stuff getting in through creases just like Samsung had, couldn't they?
Yeah,
I
but
mean, yes,
knowing Apple, they would. I don't know. I guess Apple
well,
would
they would
always.
have the advantage of seeing the problem Samsung had, and they'd
Exactly.
probably
Yeah.
make sure they
Yeah.
didn't. But anybody would at this point.
But even
yeah,
if Apple brings out a foldable, let's say 20 years from now, it'll still be the wow thing, because it's Apple.
Because it's Apple. You're
yeah.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
See, Apple to me, Samsung rushed to put theirs out. Apple
No,
doesn't care about being first and all that. 'Cause
Apple never
everybody
worries
always
about
says
rushing anything.
Apple
Yeah.
doesn't innovate. Apple doesn't. They don't care. They'll wait and test it and test it and test it and let everybody else do it first and be the last ones to do it. But when they
I don't
do
think
it, they'll make sure that it's right.
And not
I
only
don't
will
think
they not
Apple.
rush it out, they also proved this year if it isn't working right, they're just going to cancel it. And that's what they did.
Yeah. Basically, they were like, "Look, we're just gonna cancel this because it ain't working right."
Exactly.
I don't think Apple needs to innovate as much as we want them to, because I think that they pay more attention to the general consumer.
Yeah, but
And
keep
general
something in mind, so you said, even if they came out with a 20, it would still be a wow factor because it's Apple. And you're right. But that's only in America. Apple doesn't have a huge wow factor everyplace else.
Yeah, but all right, I don't know. See, all right, like, look, Huawei's gonna come out with that foldable phone, right? And it's
Maybe
great that it
someday,
folds.
maybe
Okay,
if
yeah,
the
maybe.
let's
Maybe they'll come out. Maybe they'll come out with their foldable phone. This is my thing that I always tell you, George, when it comes to like the folding phone or the pop-up camera. It folds, but who cares? Because it's still doing the same thing. Like, it's not like the phone is gonna fold and that phone is gonna run some app that nothing else can. You know what I mean? It's still
but you
gonna
can't
use the
compare that
same.
with a pop-up camera because a pop-up camera actually keeps you from having a notch. A foldable, you're right, it still does the same thing.
But even the pop-up camera, all right, the camera pops up. Now you had a little teardrop on the 6T, was it?
Right.
So now the camera pops up, but it's still doing the same thing. It's taking a picture.
Doing the same thing, except
and
I don't
now,
have anything interfering with my screen at all.
but now
And
you're
that's
waiting.
better, I think.
You're waiting longer to unlock your phone if you're using the
No,
face.
no.
the
You
face thing.
know how fast that thing pops up?
But it's
A lot
longer.
I can
George,
take
it's longer though. It
Well,
might,
yeah, and if I moved at the speed of a computer, you'd have a point. But I move at the speed of a human, so I don't think it's an issue.
but you're waiting longer to unlock your phone.
You're battling a losing argument.
And wait, George, and if you open
Wait. You're talking about waiting longer. Wait, here, I'll show you how long it takes to unlock my phone. Okay?
But it's longer than you were waiting before.
There's my phone, right? Watch what happens. See how quick it opened? Did you see how quick that camera came up and down? Okay.
Now before you didn't have to wait that whatever how much time it was. But anyway,
and like I said, it's a losing argument because only a computer could want it.
Now listen, wait. Now George, and then you get that thing that pops up that tells you if you open it too much, to protect the camera, don't keep opening it. Like, so
I haven't seen that at all.
Yeah, they showed it. What's his name? Posted it on his video. When the phone first, I think, was it 2 days after release, something like that. NKBHD posted it where it said, "Don't keep using it." It posted like an error message.
That sounds ridiculous.
I think that you have to. The pop-up message comes out if you use the camera. It goes up, but you force it down.
Oh, well, that kind of makes sense.
And if you open it and close it, open it, close it, open it, close it, it'll eventually send you a message. Like you're using it way too much.
Stupid with the phone, and they know it. Yeah.
Yeah, but either way though, but I don't know. Like I don't think like all that. Like you said, Apple, now look, you said Apple doesn't like they don't innovate and they don't get the wow factor everywhere. But like all that extra stuff is just like you should be amazed then at LG for having the whole hand eye.
Yeah, but keep
Nobody
in mind,
cares about that.
In places like China and India, it's other companies that get people to buy this stuff because they're very much into the wow factor stuff.
I guess. I don't know.
You can't see. I think the mistake you make in general is you put too much stock in what Americans buy, and it's like you kind of brush off the rest of the world.
Well, yeah, but because I'm saying no. I'm saying Apple might not be number one in the world, but I'm not importing
Apple's not even number 2 in the world anymore.
They could be number 8. But I'm saying,
but I'm saying to them.
But I'm saying I'm not importing a phone because it folds or because
I agree.
It's not.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not like like if. To me, that was the mistake. Like the OnePlus is getting like a lot of people are saying it wasn't worth it. It's not worth it.
Hey, a lot of people are saying the opposite too. Give it both sides.
Yeah, a lot of people like it.
Like a lot of people like it. A lot of hate and a lot of love.
Yeah, but
and like Samsung phones, really.
But it's like, all right, you see it, but see, I don't think it's getting hate. I think it's getting
plenty of hate too.
I don't think people are hating it. I think people are like, all right, you gave me a 90 hertz screen. And I think people are thinking like, all right, I paid, what was it, $6.99 or whatever for the 90 hertz screen and the pop-up fingerprint thing. Mm-hmm. But what real advantage am I getting from the 90 hertz screen if no game or whatever is running it? You know what I mean?
But then again, you got big guys like MKBHD who seem to love the 90 hertz screen. So,
I think that if the phone, aside from the 90 hertz, had wireless charging, people wouldn't be so, I wouldn't say hating on it, but they wouldn't be so picky on the phone because wireless charging.
This is where I agree with Jay Will. He always says, well, wireless charging doesn't mean that much. And I agree. And keep in mind, he has wireless chargers all over his house. He hardly ever uses them. He says so. And I think that's probably true for most people.
But yeah, but like, all right. Think about the OnePlus people who were like diehard for OnePlus. They asked for certain things. Like that was one of the things that people would say, we want that.
Remember the Twitter poll that they said, what?
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
The headphone jack, they didn't want to remove it, and then they took it out or something.
They took it away the following year. That's true.
They were like, everybody loves the headphone jack, so we're not going to listen and we'll take it away. Like,
well, they listened for a year and then they took it away.
People asked for wireless charging, and I think they asked for
IP rate
for a better screen. They didn't ask for 90 hertz. Like OnePlus just did what they wanted to and was like, here, and we're gonna charge you
a better screen.
Yeah, but they're like, all right, if you have a trade-off, and I guess everybody's gonna say, yeah, but you can turn it off. Like you can do 90 hertz or go down to 60. That's to me, that's like Samsung. Like Samsung will give you the crazy display, but if you turn it up, it gives you a warning. This is gonna kill your battery.
Yeah.
Like
so, but 90 hertz does kill your battery because battery life seems to be fine, and I haven't turned mine off 90 hertz once, and I probably never will.
But I also think that
he said the same thing as far as
that OnePlus gets a certain pass because they haven't yet reached that $900, $1,000.
And I agree. And you're right, Six. When they do, they better be up to the same standards as Samsung and Apple.
But see, I think they lost their pass this year though a little bit because of when they came out. Like now, like you can go get a G8 or an S10 for pretty cheap now. You're gonna get the wireless charge, and
with the 7 Pro is showing that they're going to get where Apple and Samsung are, and it's probably going to be the next phone or the one after it, is my guess.
I don't think it's gonna be
Their camera,
The camera's fine, and even last night's update made the camera a little better, as far as I can tell. And the camera's pretty good, in my opinion.
I don't know. I
Well,
don't have it. I don't have it. I mean, I see your videos. I see your videos, but I don't have it. But I
Okay,
don't know.
you're going to see more,
Yeah.
I mean, I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 current phones, so you're going to see a lot of comparisons.
Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, it's not a like Gary said, it's a flagship. It's not a flagship killer anymore. I just think OnePlus to me used to get by. Like, to me, they were always an easy buy because the phone was so much cheaper, and now it's like it's not.
And Gary's right. That's because they were the little guy and they were the flagship killer.
Yeah, but
you get a lot cheaper phone. Now they're a flagship. They can no longer call themselves the flagship killer because they've joined the opposition.
Yeah, but look what he said. He said the cameras aren't pixel good. So if I can get a $600, no, but listen, if I can get a $600 pixel, why would I buy?
Okay, whose cameras are pixel good? Other than the Huawei P30 Pro, whose cameras are pixel good? Because let's face it, the other phones are $700-800, so they're still more than the OnePlus. Are they as good as the Pixel?
Well, Huawei, yeah, I mean, they're not, but
as good as the Pixel. That's $900 and $1,000.
But we're talking camera, are we talking like point and shoot, or are we also adding in video?
No, we're talking both. We're talking both.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why with my Nokia 9, which I did a video the other day, and compared it to the iPhone. Well, the iPhone killed it in video, but in photos, the Nokia 9 was more true. So, and I think that's why they developed the Nokia 9. They were thinking pictures, not video. And the video wasn't great, but the pictures were pretty awesome.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, all right, like he said, like what's his name said, for that price, for $700 or $669 or whatever,
right?
I want the camera to be like a Pixel for that price. You know what I mean?
For $900, I want the camera to be like a Pixel.
No, but
I'm not going to get it.
But you can get the Pixel. What is the Pixel? The regular size is what, 650 or 6? You know what I mean? I want the camera to be.
I'm talking about when the phone comes out. How much will you be able to get a 7 Pro in 6 months? Probably less than $679.
When the regular Pixel, the regular size one, not the big one, is like $600, I think, or isn't it $600?
No. Let's talk about when it came out in October.
Look, the regular price of it. I think that's the regular price. I'm not saying like the high storage and all that. Just the regular.
I think the regular price was over $700. It was like 7 something.
I don't remember because I know the regular. Hold on, I'm looking.
Down in the 600s.
But either way, I want it to be Pixel level for that much.
But nobody gets Pixel level unless they buy a Pixel phone. I don't care what other brand you buy, other than the Huawei P30 Pro.
Yeah, you're right. It was they had it for $799 in the
You can't knock OnePlus for not doing Pixel if you don't knock Samsung for not doing Pixel, and if you don't knock iPhone for not doing Pixel, because neither one of them can match up to a Pixel either. And they both cost a lot more than one.
Even if you just look at if we look at the camera, but then if you look, OnePlus don't have wireless charging.
You brought camera.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying is like as a whole for me, if I'm gonna get the phone, I want the camera to be amazing, and then I want, you know what I mean? If you're gonna charge me $700, I want the top of the line. You know what I mean? I don't want the camera to have the issue.
If I want the top of the line, then I'd be willing to pay for a $900 phone, which I'm not willing to do. Now probably by the time OnePlus gets to where they are, I probably will be, but I'm not right now.
But I think that Pixels are in a hard place because when they come out in October or November with the 855. The S11 It's gonna have the 865. So already in processing power, they're already losing.
Yeah, that's true, and that happens. That's going to happen every year.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know. Like he said, they can't call themselves the flagship killer no more. But
No, they can't.
said,
No, they're a flagship now.
now.
Those days are gone. You know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Like I think it was Nigel was saying, if they come out with a 7T.
Yeah, and nobody's sure. I'm thinking they have no reason to, but I don't know.
I think they'll come out most likely with a McLaren edition or a special edition instead of a 7T.
Somebody posted on Twitter a red one. I don't know if he, you know. So I guess maybe they are trying to do the colors again.
Yeah, and they all kind of do that. At some point, Samsung always gives you another color a few months down the road, and you know, it's a game they play.
And people really buy the S series of Samsung. Don't the S series? I think that one sells the best.
I think they sell. Well, I don't think worldwide. I don't think it sells the best, but
no, I mean,
that is their top phone next to the Note.
Yeah,
you know,
it is the S, yeah.
And the S series does outsell the Note. You know.
Yeah, the Note is it's real. What's that they call it? A niche product.
It's a niche product for people who are into productivity and techies.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all we got, George. Unless Six.
Sounds good to me.
Else.
Hey, you did good.
Yeah, Six. Thanks for coming through, man. You got to come on more often.
Yeah, I'm all. Anytime you want me, I'll be there.
Come on more.
Now remember, you said that on camera. Now we got you, brother. We got witnesses.
Six is on next week because yeah. But yeah, so I think WWDC is next Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, yes.
We'll see. So we'll have a lot to talk about on Friday.
Gary Brand says he'd rather have the Note, but I think he's the kind of person I was talking about. You know, for productivity and techie. I think he probably fits both.
I like the Note, but I don't know. I don't think I use the pen enough.
The only Note I ever had was the Note 3, and I had it for almost 2 years, and I found that I just didn't use the pen enough to make it worth buying a Note, so I probably will never buy it.
Casserole. Next week, we're going to talk about Mike's casserole when he comes back.
That's right. Mike, it'll be on Mike's channel next week, so he'll be cooking all the food he wants to cook.
We're going to have to tell Mike to make a casserole on the air. That's what we got to do.
There you go. That's right.
We're going to make a casserole.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen, Will? You can drive over to his house and get some. I can't do that. Okay? It makes me hungry.
It's true.
You know? Yeah, if we have Six and I'll be here drooling, and you guys will be eating food.
George, I'll be seeing them casseroles, and I'll be like, I probably wouldn't be able to go for like a month. It's potatoes and sausage and bacon. I'll be like, dang, I don't know how he's eating that. Yeah.
We'll have the casserole to feed the soul. Okay.
George is about to freestyle. Oh. And Nigel said he's never been a Note fan. Nigel's Huawei. I'm surprised Nigel got an iPhone. I couldn't believe it.
So Nigel's saying he's Note a fan. Oh.
Yeah. The
Every
Note.
time you think I can't get worse, I manage.
He said the Note is nice. It is nice. George, maybe if you see one for pretty cheap, you should grab it. It is nice though. I know Six got the Note. Yeah, Six got the Note 8, right?
Yeah, the Note. It's a good phone now that it got Android One UI, but it's just a thing with Android phones. I mean, I wouldn't get a Note at launch. The only reason why I got the Note 8 because I had the Note 7 and I couldn't enjoy it because of the whole battery debacle. And when the Note 8 came out, since they had the trading issue,
right. They made it
I got it at like $500. So at that price, I will get a Note any day.
Yeah.
But if I wanted the Note 9, I had to trade in. So if I want the Note 10, I have to trade in. So I'm not gonna keep buying a Note just to trade it in, and so I can get it at a lower price. So if I do get a Note 10, it'll be like 6 months.
Yeah, when it's
I'll find it on eBay or Swap or something. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Samsungs just hold no value. That's why they remind me of LG.
Well, that's true.
You're like LG. I couldn't believe I seen that thing at Best Buy for $525. I said, that's crazy. That's like Swapper. Those are like a little bit above Swapper prices.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That is really pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So next week.
That's it. Next week we're on Mike's channel, right? Simply
Your Device. Mike's channel. Simply Your Device, 8 o'clock next Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, I gotta make sure I send Mike a message that he gotta talk up them casseroles for Gary.
That's right.
He should do the same thing that Leo did one time. He did a live stream while he was cooking, Android stud. So he should do the same thing.
There you go. Or Mike needs to have a what's the T-Mobile guy's name? John Legier. He needs to do
John Legier. Well, yeah, when he was doing his cookie, he was tweeting to John Legier. You know.
A slow cooker. What was it called? Slow cooker Tuesdays or something.
Yeah.
Does he still do that?
I saw him do one about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if he's done one since, but I missed stuff. So anyway, you'll never see me do one. I don't cook. I used to cook a lot when I was a kid. My mother taught me, and when I was in my 20s, and I just lost any desire to cook anything, so I don't cook, period. And since microwaves came out, I don't need to cook.
Yeah, that's true. But all right, everybody, thanks for coming. I don't know how many people we got left. Cause my
9
all off. Yeah. Okay, so it's
thanks everybody for coming in.
For coming. Thanks, Gary. I think Gary's watching live PD tonight.
Okay.
Thanks, Six, for coming. Eleanor, Rishi, everybody, Nigel. Everybody have a good weekend. And George, do you want to say your?
Yeah, MobileGeezer. So next week, don't forget it's on Mike's channel. You know, you'll find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and my website, mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. Usually every Sunday, a new article. This week it was Monday, Labor Day, but probably be back to Sunday this weekend. So drop by, folks. Six, you want to say you're out?
I really don't have a YouTube channel, but I'll
we're gonna get you one, Six.
Yeah, I'll repeat what Mike says. And Mike, if you're watching, we want to get Will to 100 subscribers.
There you go.
There you go.
Of course, that's dependent on Will ever putting up another video someday. You know.
I'm gonna get there, George.
Okay, all right. I'm just put a little pressure on you. Just a little pressure.
I'm gonna get there at some point, and we're gonna get Six a YouTube channel too. We're gonna get him in the rotation. we're gonna get Six a channel. Six needs to put up a boxing channel.
Oh yeah,
he's got enough content on Instagram.
Six a lot of stuff, man. Because I like boxing, but paying attention to all these YouTube channels and reading all the news, I could spend all day and keep learning because it's constant content coming out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we gonna get you a channel on loops. Gotta get you a channel on loops. Oh man. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. Good night.
Thanks everybody for coming in. Have a great weekend.